we're going to be previewing the major events for the week. We've got the bank earnings. We've got CPI. We're going to be talking about what's going on with these new IPOs. SK Hynix not having such a great day. Neither is the rest of the chips today. So we've got just a ton. Plus, I'm going to run through all of our picks for our Ticker Highlight Show Premium that we do immediately following the show this morning. So we've got a fun, exciting show. Let's roll credits, Amin. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to my friends across the pond. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. This is the state of the market. It is Monday, which means it's Ticker Highlight Show Monday as well. I'm going to run through 10 names that we as a team potentially like and don't like, 5 each. So we're going to be talking through all kinds of stocks. But before we get into that, let's break down what is going on in the market. As we open the day, the Dow is up, the S&P 500 is down, and the NASDAQ is way down. It's down about 1.5%. Where is that weakness coming from? Who can take a guess? If you had to guess, where is this weakness coming from? And folks, no, it is not the Strait of Hormuz. It is not oil, nor is it Crocs, which Hans apparently tells me is breaking out. Yeah, it's from chips. It is from chips. Look, SMH. And remind you, this is the largest sector of the S&P 500, and it's down $17 today. That is where your softness is. And someone said, oh, it's coming from Mag 7 and Korea. No. This is all oil disguised, chips disguised as oil is what this is. Chips disguised as oil. And that is why you see the Qs having a problem. But it's really not hitting Mag 7 the same way you might expect, right? We've now got this yin and yang between Mag 7 and between semiconductors. There is, look, Apple is up today. Amazon is up today. Up now, it just flipped red. It was up today. Meta is green. Microsoft, not so much, down about 0.5%. But my point is, and Google flat. Tesla flat. And obviously Broadcom flat as well. Why wouldn't it be? So you have this cabal of Intel, AMD, a little bit of NVIDIA, but not really. Micron, SanDisk, SK Hynix. You have this cabal of super high beta semiconductor chips that are are moving opposite of the direction of Mag 7. Mag 7, it can be mixed. It can all be green. They can all be red. But you're not going to see those names strongly higher with chips with this semiconductor group up big and vice versa. The money seems to be sloshing between these two investment pods, if you will. So that, I think, is pretty interesting and something that we need to continue to watch in the markets, right? and why we're seeing NASDAQ down, Dow up, S&P mostly flat is because Dow doesn't carry a lot of chip names, S&P a moderate amount, and NASDAQ very semiconductor heavy. And that is, and that I think is what really makes this an interesting market. Coming up, obviously, we did see things heat up in the Strait of Hormuz. Oil is up today, but it is well off its highs, and has kind of moved to now. To kind of flat on the, I mean, it's up on the day, but not really gapping, and it's failed to take out the highs that we saw last week. Again, I don't think we care about oil as much. VIX is up, but remember, we're coming off a weekend. So weekend adjusted VIX is up about 0.3%. Not very much. So market's still flashing this kind of, yin and yang effect, right? Buy everything else, sell chips, sell everything else, buy chips. Just kind of like a 6-7 motion, if you will. So, that is what I think is going to be interesting. So next up, the next thing I want to look at, I just want to real briefly prime you for earnings on the banks. And we're pricing it about a normal move, about a 3, normally it's about 3.1%. We're at 3.05. So they're looking for a raw dollar move of maybe $10 out of JP Morgan. It has not moved that much. In the last few quarters, it's moved there. It's moved more than 3% 3 times, but never 5. So it doesn't have any crazy outside move. Goldman's going to be a little different. 3.5% versus 3.2. We've gotten like a 6% move in the last couple of years. We had a big move higher last quarter. When it's sold off by less than what they're expecting, and its upside moves have been mostly inside, but a couple of big outsized moves as well. But it doesn't just end with Goldman. We've got Wells Fargo tomorrow morning, pricing at about a 5% move. That is much bigger than normal. Citigroup in the morning. Now, Citigroup has been moving a lot, and I'm actually surprised that we're not seeing more of a bid for their earnings. This is the one that I believe has taken some big moves of late. I mean, take a look. 2.6 last quarter, but over 3, over 3, over 3. You have a 6.5% and a down 5er. This is the last 2 years. It's only moved less than 3%, which would put you close to break even on your straddle and or profitable twice in the last couple of years. And that's because I really do think Citi is, of all the names, is kind of starting to break out. And then we still have Bank of America tomorrow. I mean, this is the biggest bank earnings dump that I have ever seen. And, there's another one where they're looking for inside. I mean, this is the only bank that I believe is reporting tomorrow is Morgan Stanley, of the major ones that I follow. So there will be other names, but other banks that people are attending to, but we've never seen them all report at once. So it could bring something interesting in. It really could. And I don't know that they're going to really move the market. I've got some thoughts on earnings season. I don't know that they're going to really, truly just move the market, but Jamie Dimon talking tomorrow is going to matter and set the tone. You also have, obviously, the Fed governor tomorrow, and we've got CPI. I mean, there is just a lot of really interesting stuff happening over the next couple of days. You got Warsh tomorrow, CPI tomorrow, the banks tomorrow, and several other vice chairmans speaking. And then we got PPI on Wednesday. So there's gonna be a lot to cover. And it's gonna be an interesting week. All right, so let's talk about these stocks. All right, it is Ticker Highlight Show premium day. This is Ticker Highlight Show Mondays. I'm about to run through 5 stocks one that I like, one that Andrew likes, Alicia, Tim, and Hans. Then I'm going to tell you the 5 we don't like. Then we're going to go behind the curtain and we're going to develop a trade. Now, you're saying, Mark, I want access to that trade. Here's the good news. You get to name your own price. If you want to join us every week for half an hour on Mondays, we plot out an entire plan for the trade. And you think that's worth $5 a month, you can pay that. You can pay 10, you could pay 30, you could pay $200 a month if you want. You can name your own price to join me and Andrew and Leisha, Tim, and Hans in our Ticker Highlight Show premium service. If you'd like to join us, it's very easy. Just click the link right here. If you're watching me on YouTube or watching me on Twitter, 1, give me a like and subscribe. 2, you can email my team, support@opship.com, and they will help you through the process. And they'll also get you so you can join me live in the room here with all the other amazing people that are joining. So, hop on board and get on. You can name your own price. Doesn't get any better than that. I wish I could name my own price at everything. New automobile, new whatever. I'd like to pay you $13 for that Cadillac Escalade. I don't think GM would be very happy with that, but that's what we do for you. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the stocks that here are the names of the stocks that we all like and don't like. Should be fun. I'm going to start with me. And, the hot name in semis has been Intel and AMD. They've seemed to have slowed a little bit, but they continue to be beasts. Look at the run these guys have had. Intel off a little bit more. Finally looking like maybe it's time to start playing in Intel again. So you got Intel and AMD. I feel like NVIDIA has been kind of forgotten about. Now, it had this, I wrote this up, I believe, on Thursday, before we took this, maybe Wednesday. But you can see it's had a nice little recovery back to the 50-day moving average, back to 208. But I like it higher. I think you're going to see it make a move back to 220 over the next couple of days. This is kind of the forgotten star, if you will. It's the, Intel and AMD are Luka Doncic on the Los Angeles Lakers, and NVIDIA kind of feels like LeBron, kind of the forgotten star. And maybe a little long on the tooth, but I think NVIDIA has some potential for some real upside. Andrew thinks it's time to look at ServiceNow. Now, this is a name that was very hot and then obviously took it on the chin and is back. It's at like $108. And a lot of people aren't sure whether this is a winner with AI or a loser with AI. They contend they're winners. You can see by the chart. The market clearly thinks they're losers. So I'm very interested to see where this one goes. Leisha likes Oklo, and I'm with her on this one. It's at multi-months lows, right? You hit lows like this back in April, and then back in prior to that, you got to go back to like May of 25. So coming off the selling from the Japan tantrum to find levels like this, I'm with Leisha. I think that is getting cheap. This might be a double bottom. I'm interested to see how that one ends up looking. Hans, HPE, Hewlett Packard Enterprises. Now we know it's already had a really nice run. It's had this pullback, nice little rebound. Bull flagging here. I'm thinking he likes it higher. I'm interested to see what the MTI has to say about HPE. And then he also pointed out that Crocs is in fact breaking out. I don't know why he felt the need to put that in our trader chat, but he said, Mark, make sure you point out that Crocs is breaking out. And then Tim, he thinks there's upside in the Qs. It does look like, it does kind of look like it's flagging. It absolutely looks like it's flat. It looks like it is flagging in some way, shape, or form. And he's thinking it's going to bust out. That's where his bullishness comes from. And so there you have it. On the bull side, we have NVIDIA, Now, Oklo, OKLO, HPE, Hewlett Packard Enterprises, and the Triple Q. On the downside, the names that we think it's time to leave. I'm going to give you IYT. It's up again today. We're watching oil kind of stay bid. It's had a nice recovery off these lows. It is sitting at an all-time high. I think the transpos, they could be heading for some trouble. Notably in that, I'd be looking at Jets. And no, not the New York Jets. Jets, the airplane ETF. Because, again, I think these got a little overbid. I think oil is going to stay high. And I'm interested to see what happens with those airline tickets. The alternative, if you're looking for something maybe non-airline related that you'd like to buy puts on, I'd be looking at CCL. But my official ticker, I'm going to make IYT. I think it's going to move too far too fast. And within there, jets and the cruise lines absolutely look like there's trouble. I think fuel costs could cause some problems. Moving on to our own Andrew. He likes puts and pep. I don't disagree with him. Consumer staples, they're boring for a reason. Pepsi has that interest in Frito-Lay, and I think that's where their weakness is coming from. Ozempic is killing Cheetos. You ever wondered it? Did everyone wonder that all Chester Cheetah does is eat Cheetos, and yet that is the thinnest, frailest looking cheetah, thinnest, frailest looking cheetah that I've ever seen. In addition, cheetahs are never orange. Tigers are. Just saying. But anyway, I think they have a Frito-Lay problem. And, I know they're trying to get in probiotic sodas, some other things like that. But, yeah, I just don't see it. I'm with Tim. I think this one could drop. Leisha, in similar fashion, says J&J is looking soft. Now, J&J's had a better chart. There's a lot more going on there. Obviously, they don't sell Cheetos, I think. But you do have, you've got this nice run. It looks soft. Now, she wrote this earlier in the week. There may be time to get short this. It looks like it got a little bit overextended. When are earnings here? Earnings are July. They're tomorrow morning. No, they're Wednesday morning. So That's another earnings coming up real fast. I can't believe it's already July 15th, right? Continuing, looking at our names, we have Hans with ACN, Accenture. And I'll tell you, Hans, it's an ugly chart with lots of gap downs. This is another one like ServiceNow where they're claiming AI helps them when everyone clearly knows AI does not help them right now. ACN could have some issues here, so I'm interested to see where that takes us. Tim, he thinks the dollar's bid, and it may be time to look at shorting the dollar. You short the dollar, market's going higher. Because that means people are selling dollars to get into stocks, get into bonds, get into other assets. So, maybe you do have the dollar weakening. The case you would make to short the dollar is that we threw missiles and bombs at each other over the weekend, Iran and the U.S., and energy is barely up. That would be your base case for selling U.S. dollars. And it's not completely outlandish. So there you have it. On our names we like, I like Intel. I don't like IYT. Andrew likes Pepsi. Andrew likes ServiceNow. Alicia says time to dump, or Andrew says time to dump Pepsi. Alicia likes Oklo, the nuclear company, and she says, you know what? While you're selling Pepsi, dump some J&J. Hans likes HPE, Hewlett Packard Enterprises. Makes some sense. On a nice run. Lots of bullish there. And then you've got Accenture Consulting as his one to leave. Tim, buy the Qs, dump the dollar. That is his two-headed macro trade. And frankly, the Qs are, if the dollar drops, the Qs are going up almost certainly. So it's not a ridiculous idea. All right, folks. Once again, I would invite you guys to join me in the Ticker Highlight Show Premium behind the paywall here. In about 1 minute here, immediately following the show. You can click the link. You can email my team, 888-872-3301, or you can email the team support at Option Fit. This is Option Fit. You're in Option Pit. At optionpit.com. And they support at optionpit.com, and they will gladly have you and help you and take care of you. So click the link and get your financial fit here at Option Pit. All right, everybody, we're gonna go behind the paywall. Click that link. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Reminder: I will be out tomorrow. I will potentially make an appearance on Wednesday, but I am not hosting. I'll be back on Thursday and look forward to seeing you. Make sure you're reading all our emails. You heard Garrett say, hey, he's putting out something interesting, so be on the lookout for that. And again, join Ticker Highlight Show Premium. You name your own price. You put in whatever number you want, minimum of $1, and you can join us every week for Behind here. All right, everybody. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. The show will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And when Andrew will be looking forward to saying hi to you guys at that point in time. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great trading day and a great trading week. Thank you for joining me. And as always, thank you, Amin.